Hey there, today I'm using the Elle Studio December 2018 kit and add-ons to document Disneyland at Christmas, especially Main Street. So what I like to do when I start off is I have my photos printed. Those are all printed at 3 inches by 4 inches horizontal. And I just go through my kit and pull out what calls out to me. The awesome thing about the photos that I have here is that there are all of the colors in the kit are in these photos. So I love this 4 by 6 inch tag, this spotty green tag. I love it so much. So I want to make that a border on my page. And always remember that you can cut up your tags. You can do whatever you want with them. You don't have to leave them at the size that they are. You can treat them like pattern paper. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just I trimmed those to 1.5 inches wide, and I'm using a border punch to add a scallop to the edge. I've probably had this border punch for, gosh, like 20 years. I mean, when Stampin' Up! First came out with this border punch, I think I had it. So it is a staple in my stash. Now, so I have this border strip, but it's a bit wide for me because I want to add a couple of other borders as well. And what I'm going to try to do is try to mimic that little tag that you see on the right side of my page right now that has the borders in vertical lines. I'm going to use that as kind of like a banner hanging from the top. And I want to mimic those kind of lines over on the left side of my page. So I'm lining up this border strip here. Just going to try to trim off like the teeniest, tiniest bit, which is always difficult to do. And then I need to trim the bottom portion too. That always happens. But if I used my scissors, I would definitely muck it up for sure. So I think I checked 6 times there before I cut, but it turned out okay. So that was worth it, all those checks. Okay, so this is the Merry and Bright 6 inch by 6 inch paper stack. It came out last month, but it still coordinates with the kit this month, which is awesome. And I'm just going through here to see what other papers I can use. I definitely want a red here, and I know I won't be able to use the whole width of those really cool little circles, but I can use bits of it and it still looks pretty neat. So I'm going to commit and start adhering stuff down. Just need to make sure I get that nice and straight. I'm going to leave a tiny little space in between these strips of pattern paper here because I want you to see that they are different pieces of paper. And because this is an 8.5 inch by 11 inch layout, I'm going to have some trimming to do on the bottom. And I'm just looking at the teal. I love that teal, but I can't make it work all the way down the page. But I do have this awesome snowflake pattern. So I'm going to use that one. It's pretty amazing that the colors on Main Street and Disneyland match the kit. I have reds, poinsettias, and teals in the paint colors on that display window. I have green in the trees and on Rex the dinosaur there. It couldn't have been more perfect the way that it worked out. Okay, so my strips are down, and remember I said I was going to use this guy because I just love it. I love this tag this month. It's like one of my favorites. And I'm going to create a little banner edge at the bottom. This is definitely something you can do with a pair of scissors very easily. No need to get a specific punch or anything like that. And I'm lining up my photos here over top of my strips of pattern paper, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. What I do know is that I want to back my photos with white though. It's a really clean layout, but I think they kind of need that really thin border of white. Now, I'm not loving the way it looks with my photos on top of those pattern paper strips because I feel like it breaks up that really nice vertical line that I have going there. So I'm going to add my photos to the right side of those strips. All that means is that I have less space on the right side and less white space overall. So this layout could get a bit overwhelming, and I need to be careful of that because I have lots of colors happening. All of my photos are in color, and there's lots of, different things to look at. They're not just simple photos. And then I'm using lots of patterns. So I just need to be very mindful here of how I use the product to not make this layout too overwhelming. So I know I definitely want this guy up here in the top right-hand corner. It really does a great job to balance out all of those patterns on the left side. And I also know that I want to add my title over here on the right. And my idea was to add it to that magic found 3x4 journaling tag using the large Jane alphabet stamp outline. So I'm grabbing my little trusty foam stamping mat here, and what I've decided to do is to see how these letters look on patterned paper. I know I was just talking about, making sure that I don't make this too overwhelming, but I can't help to think that it would look really playful and fun to do these on patterned paper, these alphas. So I'm grabbing my just black ink so that it's the same on all of the alphas. And I'm going to stamp out Main Street, but I know street is going to be too long, so I'm just going to use ST and period. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp each of these alphas and with different paper from the Merry & Bright 6" by 6" paper stack, and then cut them out by hand with my scissors. And I'm going to kind of figure out if I want them at the bottom of my layout or over on the right side. So I'm going to speed up this process just so you can watch me do it. And if you're not really interested in watching all of this alphabet stamping and cutting, you can head to the 10-minute, 17-second inch mark when I'm done with it all. Okay, so I have the words main and street, and I had previously stamped this enjoying this label. And so my idea was to make the title Enjoying This, Main Street, and Magic. So I'm just going to pop this here. And when I'm, using the stickers, I'm not going to really push it down really hard because I want to make sure that I'm happy with that and I can remove it before I commit. So I have this tag here and I really want to use it. It says Magic Found and it just seems perfect. I do have the Title Builder stamp. This is Title Builder Volume 2. And this was a set that I designed with Elle to help make your titles really simple. And the word magic on here, it has a great font, and I think I've used it about a million times, but I don't care. I love it. And I'm going to grab navy blue ink that matches with the navy blue in the kit to stamp the word magic. And then I'm going to cut that out uh, by hand, fussy cut that, and add it underneath Main Street. Okay, so I've been able to add Main Street onto that Magic Found tag, which has worked out really perfectly, and I love the way that it looks. So I'm going to commit to this. This layout is definitely like one of those, 30 to 40-minute layouts, and when you're done with it, you really love it and you can't believe that it didn't take you that long. But I'm trying to commit to things as soon as I lay them down and I like them instead of hemming and hawing over it for so long. Because I just don't love that part of the process. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I definitely don't like thinking about things for way too long. I've been a bit messy here with my S, so I'm just tidying it up before I adhere that down. This little dot just getting a little bit of adhesive on there. And then my word magic is going to go just below. So I really like the way that that looks. I like how it's kind of at an angle there. What I did just now was to print my journaling because I completely forgot to do that. I had to gently take up my photos a bit because they were already on with dimensional adhesive, but luckily I had done it quick enough that I was able to pick those up and type my journaling out in Photoshop and add that to the page background. And I did keep the pattern paper strips on the left side when I ran that through my printer. It's always a bit of a worry because you could, get some excess ink on there, but nothing happened this time. I love that navy blue star. It kind of mimics the magic underneath my title. So I'm going to add that just above there. Those large acrylic stars this month are just so gorgeous. They're so gold and pretty. I like to use glue dots for all of my acrylic. I find that it helps them to stay on really well, and I'm not very patient when it comes to letting glue dry. You can see that I put the enjoying this label down at the bottom. And on that label, I used the Wonder and Joy, enjoying this phrase. That's the Wonder and Joy stamp this month to add that. There simply wasn't enough room above my Main Street 3x4 tag to add the enjoying this label, but it fits really well down at the bottom left corner. And then I'm adding the word magic with dimensional adhesive to make that stand up just like my Main Street tag there. It's slightly covering up my journaling a teeny tiny bit, but you can still read it just fine, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, I super love that title, you guys. I love putting titles on 3x4 tags. I just think it's so pretty. So I decided that I want to add some tabs here. That green one is from the kit. that teal one there. I also have this phrase stamp from the Wonder and Joy stamp, and I want to add this on here. I think I'm going to do it just below my journaling there. There's some white space there. Not that I have much on here, but there is some. And it says my favorite details, which if you guys have ever been to Disney at Christmas, it is insane the detail that they go to. We have not been when it wasn't Christmas, and I'm afraid to go just for the fear that it will look too plain and boring. You can see that I added another bit of navy blue with that A Beautiful Sight label, and that is from the Everyday Puffy Labels set. And now I have a nice visual triangle of navy blue there with the word magic, my star, and the Beautiful Sight label. I'm adding this little tiny gold star, and that is from the Christmas trees acrylic Christmas trees, I should say. Those come with little tiny stars as well, so I used one of those on this layout. It's definitely okay to kind of split up your embellishments here. And then these twinkle puffy stickers, those are always one of my favorite things. So I added those as well. I love this layout, you guys, because it really documents somewhere that I love that really feels like Christmas to me. I stamped those little tabs to add to the other two photos, and I just love this title. It's my absolute favorite part of the layout, and this December 2018 kit and all of the add-ons couldn't have been more perfect to use for it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the kit and add-ons via the affiliate link in my video notes, and be sure to have fun documenting your magical Christmas moments. Thanks so much for watching, and happy creating.